Alrighty, so pre-market analysis. So our H4 swing on EU is still bearish. That's our big swing high. That's our swing low. Our internal structure is bearish as well. Our fractal structure is bullish though. So even though I'm expecting sells potentially, if the internal high is gonna hold, the fractal structure is still bearish, is still bullish, right? So at any moment we can just continue to the upside. But yesterday we just pushed from this sell to buy wick, right? We found some supply and we just pushed to the downside. I don't see any level here that can potentially push price higher and break that internal high for now. The daily closure as well was a big strong bearish candle from the inside bar. So yeah, at any moment we can just push to the downside. I'm expecting price to continue to downside and break that low. So yeah, my bias is just bearish for now. M15. M15 is still bullish, swing is bullish, internal is bearish. So that's our internal structure, big range, big M15 range. All right, so that's our internal high. Our internal low is that one, that low. Let me just draw it now. All right, we have only one unmitigated level that I can see, which is that one, although it's been, if you take the whole candle, it's been a bit mitigated there, so I'll just put it right there. It doesn't have any inducement nor anything, so this is not high probability. The one that's high probability for me is that one. I mean, it's a flip that broke us, that broke structure, broke internal structure. So I will be happy to take a trade from here, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna just take an LC2A, as this is potentially the last unmitigated area. Everything here is mitigated. So I can potentially count that as the extreme, although it's not. It's not at the end, yeah, right? But yeah. Or I'll probably just wait for a clear shift in structure from this level, and then a clear unmitigated supply and look for sells again, and target the internal low. So that's what I'm thinking for now. That's extreme range, yeah. So at any moment we can see price continuing to downside. We had that shock, but I'm not happy with that shock, right? It didn't form from the level that I wanted, from the pivot that I wanted. Yeah, it touched the extreme range here, right? But didn't leave us with any clear supply that we can potentially look for price to look for price to come to and look for sells, right? It just left us with this low resistances supplies there, which for me are not enough to take a trade from, right? Yeah, so I'm waiting for something convincing, something that shows me that sellers are in control of the market at this point of time. So once we get that mitigation of that supply, then I'll look for the shift in structure or the LC2A in case we mitigate the extreme pivot there. So that's EU. Let's go for GU. So GU is bearish, swing is bearish, internal is bullish. Currently, we're sitting at the internal swing, the internal extreme demand. So we could see some potential bullish movement, right, which happened here. But now it depends on either we're gonna respect that internal demand and push higher, or respect the whole swing structure and continue lower after we swept those that daily supply right there. So we could see that, right? What I'm expecting is potentially price to break that internal low, as it doesn't have any inducement. It does have this sort of inducement, but it was used, right? So I would be happy for price to continue bearish from here. Where can I look for sells from? Well, we have this extreme supply here. fractal supply. We also have this whole range, uh, and I'm aware that if price has a lot of momentum and I want to push lower, it can just mitigate this whole range and just push lower, right? So I'll just draw it as my whole range there, and yeah, price can just mitigate it, continue to downside from this level. If not, if I want to get bullish, then I'll need to wait for price to give us minimum at shock, and then clear demand to look for buys from. Yeah. So M15, we were bullish. We had that double bust, so now we're bearish. So now M15 is bearish. Internal is bullish for me. So we had the IBOS there, right? And although even if we don't count that as an IBOS, right? Once we had that clear shock right there, we started creating structure. So I would count that as my IBOS, right? So that was my IBOS. That's the other internal high. And yeah, I'm looking for a price to continue to that supply, potentially give us, I don't know, an IBOS or a clear IBOS, and then push to the downside, right? So that's my internal low. Perfect. And yeah, we have that demand. I'm waiting for that demand to fail. I'm not looking for longs at all because this is very risky to look for to follow the internal structure here or to play phase C. As well, yes, we mitigated that extreme demand, etc., etc. That we can see some potential move to the upside, but again, we just mitigated this range now. All right, did we mitigate the 50%? Not yet. We can play, to be fair, now that I'm looking at it, um we can play that long, right? Yeah, that long till that level, that can work as well. So let's see, if I get perhaps a clean entry there, I can still look for longs, targeting that area there, targeting the EQ and the supply. In the meantime, I'm just gonna wait and see what price will do and reacting from this supply. All right. Yeah, so that's everything for EU and GU. So EU waiting for price to mitigate that demand. GU same thing. We can see some momentum to downside. I'm also looking to take price potentially bullish and play that bullish continuation till that demand, yeah, till that supply, right? So yeah, that's everything for EU and GU. Let's see what will happen today. Also, we have CPI, so let's be careful at 1:30.